Hello, everybody, again. Um, I don't really like how the story is going. I don't mean the actual story itself. I just mean how what I'm trying to figure out here. I'm trying to do plot points like in a screenplay, and it's not coming together. It's not solidifying in my mind. Because really, um, the point of view character, there's still a point of view character even in the game. Even if you get to play all the other characters, or most of the other characters, um, so I think the John in our realm is going to be, you're going to look at it from his point of view. So let's see. I know this is still a game, so I'm not writing a screenplay. However, I am using the structure, the 3-act structure, and that a lot of these places show, and just in general, I need to find something. Like, I have a screenplay book that says that something wants something so much that he's willing to do anything to get it, and blah blah blah, something like that. But on certain kinds of stories, the main character doesn't know what's going on yet. Maybe the idea is that he really just wants to figure out this mystery, but in certain cases, the main character has kind of this boring life and he wants a little bit more excitement, I guess. And not always necessarily wanting to do anything to get it. So we had, if you have ever seen the movie The Last Starfighter, we have Alex Rogan that lives in a trailer park. It's somewhere, I don't know, Arizona or New Mexico or someplace. Basically out in the desert. And he doesn't want to go to community college. He wants to actually go to a major college and do something, like big with his life. And then he gets rejected. And, it's kind of interesting because that is kind of the inciting incident there, even though it's not. Because he gets the letter, and of course they reject him, and he gets mad. And then then when he meets Centauri, and which is an alien which put the video game in his trailer park and using it as a test. So kind of the inciting incident is kind of him being essentially abducted, or basically taken to Rylos, to be with the other starfighters. So that's actually, the inciting incident is actually the meeting with Centauri. It's the thing that gets the ball rolling. Even though the college application thing, actually the college application thing isn't really the deal. It's just the thing that's I don't know. I guess it's not really a plot point or whatever. It's not exactly necessary to the story. it just kind of establishes the fact that he figures he's never going to get out of the you know out of the desert, basically. So but within the thing, the Last Starfighter, other than the fact that he wants to do something big with his life, it's not like he's willing to do anything to get it, because they go to Rylos, and he realizes it's not a game, and they're there to fight an intergalactic war, and he essentially doesn't want to get involved, right? Because this is like way too big, way too interesting, and he was kind of tricked into going there. And so he comes back, and then the alien Zandozans come down and try to kill him. They're basically alien assassins. So so eventually he does end up wanting to go, if nothing else than to avoid being assassinated by aliens. So there's that, and then there is, I would say that the first plot point, though, is when he gets back, when they get back, and basically the base on Rylos, or on one of the moons, I forget how that works, but the base was basically destroyed by the Zur, who is an alien bent on taking over the universe, basically. So the first plot point is the fact that that he's basically destroyed pretty much all the starfighters and all the all the ships, the gun stars, right? So that's kind of like a big plot point. So when I'm thinking of my story, I'm kind of going, well, what kind of similarities could I think of in comparison to that? In my story, he's a young man. I'm going to say approximately 19. We'll say he's out of high school, but he's not yet in college. And I didn't really have a plan of where he lived, other than making it similar to where I used to live, which was Oregon. But basically he doesn't have a social life. He doesn't really have a job yet, and he's basically just kind of living, and he's kind of bored with his life, actually. That was kind of one of the major deals. That is actually kind of similar to The Last Starfighter. If you compare that to Star Wars, though, Star Wars is a little bit different. Star Wars isn't like that he's just bored with his life, that Luke is just bored with his life. It's more like he really wants to go join the rebellion against the Empire. But his aunt and uncle just keeps him pinned down there, saying that he needs him for the harvest, and basically just kind of keep him there. So he does actually really want something. He really wants to leave. He does not want to stay at the farm. And so, but then your kind of inciting incident is basically when well, you could say the inciting incident is when it's a collection of actual incidences, right, that kind of sets this in motion. Basically, when Darth Vader's Star Destroyer catches up with the Corvette, the Rebel Corvette, the smaller ship, anyways. And then Princess Leia's on there, and he knows that she's stolen the plans, and then she's hidden the plans in R2, and then the droids take off in an escape pod and land on Tatooine, and then Luke catches up with them, and but the thing that kind of gets it going is the fact that because the stormtroopers also landed on Tatooine, searching for the droids, essentially searching for the Death Star plans, they they track back the droids, who the droids were sold to, and then they kill Luke's aunt and uncle. So basically, that's actually, if I looked at it right, the inciting incident is the thing on the ship, right? They got the plans. She puts it in R2. They leave. That's the thing that gets the ball rolling. The first plot point is when they essentially kill his aunt and uncle, and he's got nowhere else to go than to go with Ben Kenobi to Alderaan, which happens to be Princess Leia's home planet. But so that's actually the plot point one. So when I'm thinking of my story, first of all, I think I need my character. So my character is kind of bored, kind of doesn't know what he wants to do. Maybe he kind of thinks he's unimportant and kind of minuscule. And then the thing that gets it all rolling, of course, is when Halfway comes and gives him the silver ticket. So, and even, I know this is a game. I have to keep saying that because I keep referring to screenplays and movies because I've always liked the movies, and they're kind of the big deal of why I like this kind of. This is why I like this kind of game, because they're the closest thing you get to interactive movies. So basically, you're gonna be playing some. There's gonna be some not really very hard puzzles in the at home in our world, basically. There'll just be a few things, and the actual real complicated stuff will start once he gets into Enchanted Lands. But so that's your inciting incident. There is, of course, him stepping through that portal, right? Or you could say it's halfway. It's him stumbling on the convenience store that has the candy bar that he likes, that has the silver ticket in it, right? So that's your inciting incident. But we still need a first plot point, right? We need a turning point. We need a thing that see, this is where I kind of get stuck. So basically your turning points, basically your plot points are they turn the story into a different direction, and usually the main character or characters cannot go back to where they were before, So it's like when Luke realizes his aunt and uncle are dead, and the only thing to do now, because there's nothing to keep him there on Tatooine, is to go with Ben Kenobi. So there's no going back. There's no going back to the way life was before. So if my inciting incident in here is him getting the ticket to the portal and then him stepping through, but that's also the plot point, right? Because that also turns the story. Kind of. Because the silver ticket, we'll learn later, he'll learn later that you can use the Quicksilver to actually go between realms, but he doesn't know that at first. But so it's sort of like a plot point, but it's also sort of like the inciting incident. And so I'm stuck, sort of stuck, kind of. I'm trying to figure out how to do this. Okay, so this is about 15 minutes, which is what I wanted to keep it to. I didn't want to go to 20 minutes like some of those videos that I have already. Here, let's crank this down a little bit. Oh, it's like so. Okay. So I'm gonna stop recording here, and then you'll see the next day we'll continue this discussion, or whatever. It's not really discussion. It's just me telling you, at least for right now.